Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Oddly, no one's here. Well, maybe not oddly. Maybe no one's watching tonight, which would be a shame, but it is what it is. Oh, wow. Literally no one. Hi, Jason. Hi, Praxis. Hi, liberal cartographer. Hi, Brum. There. Hi, Diane. Hi, Gary. Hi, Lauren. So as you might be able to tell, there is a blackout, and the how you know that there is a blackout is when there is nothing behind me that's lit up, because there are a couple of lights on the shelf, and if they're off, then there is a blackout because I literally never turn them off. They're just kind of like night lights. This MFer, that's a cool handle. Hi, hi, Super Hornet. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Frank. Hi, Robert. Hi, K-Bell. Hi, Mr. Squiggle. Hi, Mark. Hi, Carolyn. Diana, I already said hi. Hi, Cyberpon. So Cindy is doing better. She's doing, I would dare I say, much better, actually. Do you get the electricity spare battery at home? So I mean, I have an EcoFlow thanks to you guys, and it helps quite a bit, so I can like charge my charge my devices. I can also kind of like plug in my TV if I really wanted to. I can make coffee, I can work, like my internet works, but at the same time, most of the lights and most of everything in my apartment is not working. Also, this is kind of the topic of today's live, and that is, I called it Ukraine plunges into darkness because, and I'll read you the tweet, I'll translate it to you, but there is this guy who works for Yasno, which is like one of the largest electricity providers in Ukraine, and he basically was explaining why blackouts are about to get worse, sort of like that there is not much that can be done about it, that we should sort of prepare for like a really, really bad next 6 to 8 weeks. And we have these like electricity outage schedules, and there are 3 zones. One is white, which means you have electricity, light gray, which means you might not have electricity, and like dark gray / black means blackout. And usually a light will turn on during like the dark gray / black times, but the light gray, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not gonna have electricity. You usually do. So he was like, well, now start planning for the electricity to be out during the light gray times as well, and that means that we might have electricity for 4 hours a day or 6 hours a day maximum, depending on the day. But that is horrendous. I mean, like that's like that is really, even having like an EcoFlow and powering an entire apartment with it, like is not it doesn't power the entire apartment. So for instance, like I have no lights in my bathroom. My bathroom is just like this pitch black place. Pitch black place, and like for instance, it's really hard to take a shower. Like I've fallen in the shower multiple times before when I was like taking it with with no lights on. You can't really like blow dry your hair, even if you plug in your blow dryer to an EcoFlow, because well, you don't see anything. Like it's just like it's super inconvenient. I mean, it's really inconvenient. It's not the worst thing that could happen, but like you can imagine how inconvenient it is to not have electricity in your house or in your home. I mean, for like 20 hours a day or 18 hours a day. That's fucking awful. The power situation is really worrying, especially as we head to winter. So again, like we will get to this, and I will tell you more about it because I don't want to start with a thumbnail topic. But at the same time, like the reason why the electricity situation is so much worse right now is because they are technically trying to prepare for the winter, and they are repairing a lot of power plants, and they are so power plants are comprised of reactors, and the reason why we're producing even less electricity right now than we're capable of is because some of these reactors are being repaired, modernized, they're being worked on so they could be used in the winter. And if Russia doesn't destroy anything else, then we should be good for the winter. But then again, it's Russia and we never know. And Russia will likely destroy more things. So it's kind of like, it's, I would not be, so sure that things are going to be better. Hi, Tara. And hi, Hawaiian guy. That's cool. Thank you. So yeah, when you visit Australia, I wish to visit Australia one day. I really want to go. You guys seem to have breakfast food really figured out. Hi, Darlene. I think Australia is awesome. The only thing that I always say to Australians, and then they're like, "Nar, things are not gonna want to kill you here," and it's just sort of like, I don't know. I see spiders, snakes, and all those like weird, massive, massive bugs, and that's like the one thing. That's like the one thing that really, really kind of puts me off Australia because, locals are always like, "Nar," and then those things are not here, and then you just sort of like watch anything about Australia, and people like walk into their bathrooms, and there's just like a random little spider nest in there. Thank you, thank you, Karine. And they're just like forming a cute little family in your apartment or in your house, and you're just like, cool, I guess I live with a family of spiders now. Oh, look, there is a snake in my ceiling. So yeah, Yulia, what is nor? That's how I hear. That's how I hear no in Australian. No in with an Australian accent sounds to me like nor. So yeah, my granddad used to get red backs in his plant pots. Oh my god. No. No. See, like anything that has to do with spiders, snakes, or anything like that. I just not my thing. I'm new to your page, but do you live in Ukraine? Yep, in Kyiv. Someone I know went to Australia. The family they stayed with said if you open a drawer and see a snake, just close the drawer. That's a nope for me. Yeah, see, it's comments like that. It's comments like that where people, I think that like locals are saying that like I think locals in Australia tell me that it's not really that bad and there are not that many things that want to kill you because they're so used to these things they just don't notice them. Like you guys, I must disappoint you. I think that you might just not notice the freaking creatures that you live with because you're so used to them that you wake up one morning, there's a freaking snake in your fridge and you're just like, oh, it's always been there. That's how I imagine Australia. Hi, Sam. Northern chimp. Don't you have spider families in Ukraine? I have some in France. I mean, like, I don't usually, they don't usually live. Oh, thank you, Tara. They don't usually live, like everywhere. It's 11:33 p.m. They don't usually just kind of like settle in your apartment and want to kill you. And I mean, like, yeah, we have little spiders living in our apartments, like small ones, not like, like any spider that's bigger than this is too big. It's too big of a spider for me to be in its vicinity. Too big. Also, my favorite trope about Australia is you guys joke about drop bears. Koalas are super spreaders of chlamydia. And like the people who have been on this channel for a while, they know I will never get over it. Koalas are super spreaders of chlamydia. How did koalas get chlamydia? How did koalas get chlamydia? Please explain. How did they get it? Anyways, Drop bears are cute if they existed. Crocs are probably the worst. See, this is what Australians always say. Hey, don't bother them. They don't bother you, mostly. Like, dude, if I walked into my bathroom and there was a spider nest of like redback spiders just like chilling there and like living the life, oh, I would fucking bother them. I would bother them out of my house. Like, here's the thing. It's like, oh, don't bother them and they don't bother you. Like, what do you mean they don't bother me? They're in my house, living in my bathroom. That's bothering me. Like, that's already bothering me. Like, what do you mean don't bother them? Just let them live there and like, and multiply and have like a larger little spider family in the bathroom. Even Americans are moving to Australia for the quality of life. Well, Americans are moving lots of places for the quality of life because right now, quality of life in a lot of places is much better than America. Hi, Brian. But yeah, I mean, Australia seems very nice. I like to joke about all the critters that want to kill you in Australia. And I also, again, will never get over koalas and chlamydia. K-Bell. Have you ever seen a koala? You rarely see it. I mean, listen, I've no, I've never seen a koala in my entire life. And after some facts that I've learned about koalas, I don't know if I want to see a koala. Hey guys, are there any moderators on TikTok? Because I would love to have some Russian garbage taken out. I absolutely love when Russian, garbage gets taken out. Hi Dave, and hi Samso. I had a big huntsman in my room for about 3-4 days. He was cool. I reckon it was, oh no. See, stories like that. It's stories like that make me not want to go to Australia. Also, let me open but if I open my window, you're going to hear the massive generator outside. I'm actually curious when the electricity is scheduled to come back. Because oh my gosh. No. Yeah, is it? Okay. Yay. So it said 4 minutes ago that the light is coming back, which means anytime between now and the next half an hour. Yay. That is fantastic news. You prefer mosquitoes, cockroaches, etc. Why not keep spiders instead? Mosquitoes, for sure. I prefer mosquitoes to spiders. It's not like I would want to live in like a space fully infested with mosquitoes, but like, yeah, mosquitoes don't bug me nearly as much as spiders do. It's the magpie birds that scare me during mating season. I can stay away from the other junk. Magpie birds? I don't even want to know what that is. I don't even want to look that up. It sounds scary. Genuinely. You guys. Hi, Cheryl, Arizona Oblast. I think I might have scheduled my live for like 24 hours earlier than it was supposed to be because for some reason, Odin just messaged me and asked me if I scheduled my live 24 hours earlier on purpose. And I was, or 25 hours early on purpose. And I'm like confused as to what he means because did you guys think, did you see when the live was scheduled for? Because I didn't realize. I think I might have made a mistake, which might be why no one got notified. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, you did schedule it a day out. I see. Okay, well, fantastic. Oh, I see. I see. That makes no sense. I don't know how that happened, but it was for now. Hi, Tom. Thank you. So, you guys, I have a question. Remember my classmate, the one who's at the front, the one who sent me a whole spreadsheet of stuff that they need. So I've been trying. Yeah, I do like this San Pellegrino. Remember the classmate who's at the front. So he sent me like a whole spreadsheet of stuff that they need to that they need to like that they need for like electronic warfare and stuff like that. And he's supposed to come to the live at some point. So he might not be able to do it this week, but next week. But I was thinking maybe we start fundraising today, and then he'll get on the live next week, and who knows, maybe we'll be done fundraising by then. And I don't know, we can surprise him, or he will just like come in the middle of the fundraiser, because I feel like I don't feel like, I know, but the longer I don't start fundraising, obviously the longer it takes to fundraise. Duh. So what do we think? Do we think it's a good idea to start it today or nor? I do have the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is very, very funny and very extensive. I don't know if I showed you what the spreadsheet looks like, but it's so funny. It's actually quite hilarious. One sec. I want to load it because I want to show you. So there are three sections there. One is subject, the next one is cost, and the third one is link to a particular item. So there are 6 items on the list totaling $4,630. And here is where the question is. We could itemize it and raise for each item individually, or we could raise the lump sum, whichever you guys think is best. Also, thank you, Dave. We've got our first $5. Let me just pull up my nifty calculator. So we're at $5 and 69 cents. Nope, just $5. Someone in Lviv was asking about solar. Is it feasible in an apartment in the city? Yes and no, depends. Let me answer it in a second. So I guess like we can start, I guess we can do lump sum, but I will let you know once we've raised for every specific thing. So the first thing on this list is an EcoFlow Delta Max, which is $1,470. Yulia, I'm still giggling over your weeds story. Yeah. So that's $1,500 basically. And all total, it's $4,630. I am going to make a graphic for it because I think that's going to get confusing. But there is a generator that's called Shepak for $470. There is a Lenovo Yoga 6. I think it's a tablet, which is $889. No, that's not a tablet. That's something else, because then there is a tablet, also Lenovo, for $568. And then there is an EW complex called Zizitsa, and that's $1,234. So I guess the first big ticket item is $1,470, so $1,470, and we have raised $5 so far. So I'm going to start answering some questions from here and reading the news. But in the meanwhile, if you would like to donate to the fundraiser for my classmate, Yoga, she's a notebook. Okay, so that's a laptop. Cool, thank you. Do I hear bombings? There haven't been any bombing, any like. There haven't really been any huge attacks on Kyiv. How would I don't, you need to specify the, I'm not sure what you're, I'm not quite sure how you're asking it or what you're asking about. This is for my classmate, the one who's at the front line. And There is a spreadsheet for where this money is going for. There is a whole spreadsheet that I just read, but I will read again. So there is a generator called Shepech SG2500i for 19,000 hryvnias, or about $470. EcoFlow Delta Max for 59,500 hryvnias, or about $1,470. Lenovo Yoga 6, which is apparently a laptop, for 3,600 hryvnias, or $889. A tablet. So these are the tablets, and the laptops are for drones and electronic warfare. So they're not for personal use. I think that a lot of people have questions when you like put tablets and like laptops on the list. So it's not like, oh, these military guys just want a laptop. No, it's for electronic warfare and for it's for electronic warfare and for like drones and stuff. They use EcoFlows at the front line. Yes, they do. They use them everywhere. So then there is a tablet. I think I might have said that already, or maybe not. It's 23,000 hryvnias, or $568. And then there is the EW complex, which is $1,234, or 50,000 hryvnias. Also, thank you, Kevin. There is a $5.69 donation, which is $10.69 now, which is how lovely. In his 1964 book, The Lucky Country, Donald Horne. Oh, sorry. Armin's quote of the day is up. So let me read that to you. In his 1964 book, The Lucky Country, Donald Horne wrote, "The image of Australia is of a man in an open-necked shirt, solemnly enjoying an ice cream. His kitty is beside him. In 2024, this is still true." I wouldn't know, Armin. I've never been to Australia, but I want to go someday, and look at someone enjoying ice cream with their kitty. It sounds really nice. Okay, so for those of you that want to donate to the fundraiser, all the links are in my link in bio on TikTok, and they are also in my link in bio on YouTube. But someone, and by someone I mean Grumpy when he does show up, or Ozzy if he's here, I don't think I saw him, might post the links in the chat, which would be super helpful. Or someone who has the links might post the links in the chat. That would be really helpful. And in the meanwhile, I will start on the news. If you come to Australia, you can stay with us. Aw, thank you. Thank you. That's very sweet. I actually just watched, I like watching dumb little, super, easygoing shows sometimes. And some of them are literally, I don't know, those high school shows. I don't even know. Sometimes I just like watching stupid stuff that can buzz in the background. And I was just watching a dumb show. The show is not good, but it was set in Australia, and it's really pretty. I know the EcoFlow can be charged through solar and also off of vehicle batteries. Yeah, it can be charged off of vehicle batteries through solar. I mean, there are various different ways of charging the EcoFlow. Sorry, that reminded me that there was a question about something. There was a question about electricity. So Yulia needs some weed, asking for a friend. That's so funny. Someone in Lviv was asking about solar. Is it feasible in an apartment in the city? So yes and no. Yes and no. So if you live in an apartment that's like top floor and you have use and utilization of your roof, probably, but you have to buy quite large batteries for them to power your entire apartment. If you live like on the first floor and you do not have access to the roof, nor is it like usable for you, then probably not. Like you can't just like, you can put a solar battery on your balcony and that'll basically be about as much as like a small EcoFlow probably, but you can't necessarily power your whole apartment through like a small solar panel that fits on your balcony. That's just not gonna happen. Uh oh, thank you, Richard. So I think it's feasible if you have a lot of roof access. Oh my gosh. And I think it's feasible if you have it's feasible if you live in a house, but it's not really feasible if you live in a small apartment. If you live in a small apartment or if you don't have roof access. Also, I just saw Lauren Venmoed $25 for the fundraiser. So that is $35.69. It's a very funny caption, Lauren. Towards the fundraiser, take my money, do the thing with it, Slava Ukraini. Героям слава. Replace your windows with solar panels. Well, that'll make your apartment really dark. I don't know if you're going to want to live in that environment, TBH. But, I don't judge. You do you. From the cherry capital of the world, Michigan. I didn't know Michigan was a cherry capital of the world. What? I had no idea. Hi, Michael. Sorry, I'm trying. Okay, here we go. My phone does not recognize me. I'm trying to stay on top of Revolut as well because some people use Revolut and then I see it 2 weeks later. And so I'm trying, well, not 2 weeks. I think the longest was 4 days, but still I'm trying to stay on top of it as well so I don't miss Venmos and Revoluts. Hi, Gord. Also, hi, Walter. And okay, well, so I'm going to start doing the news. And in the meanwhile, we will also be fundraising, which right now we are at $35.69. Of course, we can never be not at 69 cents because how else? How else? Okay, the United States, South Korea, and Japan have issued a joint statement condemning the increasing military cooperation between North Korea and Russia. This statement, released by the U.S. State Department, highlights concerns over the recent developments in the DPRK-Russia partnership, including the strategic partnership agreement signed during Russian President Putin's visit to Pyongyang on July 19th. Key points from the statement include a violation of UN resolutions. The supply of weapons from North Korea to Russia not only perpetuates the suffering of the Ukrainian people, but also violates numerous UN Security Council resolutions, posing a threat to stability in both Northeast Asia and Europe. Regional and global security threats. The deepening partnership between North Korea and Russia raises serious concerns for those interested in maintaining peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula. Commitment to defense. The U.S., along with South Korea and Japan, reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the defense of the Republic of Korea and Japan. The three countries emphasize their intention to strengthen diplomatic and security cooperation to counter North Korea's threats. Call for dialogue. Despite the provocations, the statement reiterates that the path to dialogue remains open and urges North Korea to cease further provocations and return to negotiation. This joint condemnation underscores the united stance of the US, South Korea, and Japan against the military alliance between North Korea and Russia and their collective effort to maintain regional and global security. I mean, it makes a lot of sense that the U.S. right now is trying to get even closer in their relationship with Japan and South Korea, which are allied countries in the Asia region, right? And they are the only sort of countries that are unequivocally allies, right? South Korea is allied with the US, and so is Japan. They're not budging. They're not under Russia's influence. They're not under China's influence. South Korea obviously will not get under China's influence because North Korea and all that lovely stuff. And Japan will not get under Russia and under Russia's influence simply because, well, it won't. So good news all around. I'll see you guys. Do you think we could maybe get the fundraiser to at least $100 today? Like kick it off to a good start? Because we are at 35.69 so far. And I mean, as much as I love the 69, as much as I love the 69. Also, some of the mountain cabins use solar powered motion activated lights for their outhouses. Interesting. Hi, Galatian. Good to see you. Hi, Nastya. Anastasia eats. Good to see you. In the Kharkiv region, a man and a woman have died following the detonation of an enemy mine. The man succumbed to his injuries at the scene, while the woman passed away during evacuation to the hospital. This is like horrible. So, Kharkiv gets shelled every day, and Kharkiv was literally every day. There was that massive, massive attack the other day, and then a school was attacked. There was a kindergarten that was attacked, and then today there was a school. Like, I saw stories from my friends who are from Kharkiv who were posting about their kids' school, Boyko school. It's like I think like pre-K through graduation type of school. Oh, thank you, Roberta. Wait 1 sec. I want to make sure because I could have completely. Roberta, yes, thank you. Thank you. $25, which brings us to $60.69. What an amount. But so yeah, there was a school in Kharkiv region. It's called the Boyko School, and it was like this really sort of modernized, like really cool, next level sort of like education for your kids school. A lot of parents went there and then brought their kids. The school exists for 30 years now. Actually, this year was supposed to be its 30th birthday, and a lot of people are like really, really really excited about this school and really love it. And again, like there are people that went to this school for generations, like, the adults that graduated then brought their kids to study at the school, which is like super, super great. And that school was ruined today by Russia. And not only does Russia shoot up Kharkiv every single day from various different missiles, there are also now mines still left in the region from Russian occupation, and 2 people yesterday died from literally blowing themselves up by accident on a mine. It's just horrific. The Council of the European Union has adopted the 14th package of sanctions against the Russian Federation. This latest round of sanctions notably includes measures targeting Russian liquefied natural gas. Russian liquefied natural gas, LNG, for the first time. The sanctions also extend to various sectors such as energy, finance, and trade, with the aim of reinforcing existing restrictions and closing loopholes that have been used to circumvent previous sanctions. Today's package specifically imposes restrictive measures on an additional 116 individuals and legal entities from Russia, further tightening the EU's economic pressure on the country in response to its actions in Ukraine. I mean, every sanction, like I remember when I used to react to these sanctions packages in such a like excited manner, right? Because I was hoping that they would change a lot. I mean, they do change something, right? They do change some stuff, and tightening sanctions is really good. It's better than not doing it. Sanctions against liquefied natural gas are very good because Russia's gas trade is probably one of its most lucrative exports. However, now they are focusing on oil. So we should start sanctioning that as well, and simultaneously with tightening the sanctions around gas. Also, thank you, John, for $9, and thank you, Frank. Oh my gosh, 69.69. I see what you did there. And thank you, Frank, for 39.31, which brings us to 109. Woohoo! Cool. Let's keep going. Maybe we can get to more than $100 today. That will be fantastic. For those of you who are just joining, we're doing a new fundraiser. It's for my classmate. He's at the front. His name is Mikhailo. He's going to come to the live probably next week. I've been trying to get him to show up on the live, but he's also being like a little shit, you know. I mean, I love him. I like, you know, I'm calling him a little shit with a lot of love, because currently I'm telling him, why can't you show up to my live tonight? And he goes, I don't like how I look. And I'm like, well, do you want your equipment? And he goes, yes. I'm like, well, then shove it. But he's just joking. He's busy. I mean, like, he's literally at the front, so it's not as easy to sort of like find time to show up to a live. I might need to do a live with him that isn't like at my normal time, because this is when he goes to bed, and then like at 11 I think he goes to bed, and then he wakes up at like 3 a.m. or something like that. His schedule is a little dicey, you know. Thank you, Ralph, for the $40 donation, which brings us to $149. But yeah, basically, it's you know, it is what it is. He's my classmate. I know him since first grade, actually. Well, I didn't go to first grade, so since second grade. He is also, if you watch my TikTok, briefly, my friend Yulia was visiting, the one who is a swimmer. And we went for like a quick little swim in the Dnipro River before a food fair. So that's her boyfriend. They started dating in, I think, either junior or senior year. They started dating on New Year's. Senior year, we actually went on a trip all together, and we were all like sort of shipping them so much, and it turns out they've already been going out and we just didn't know. But so they're high school sweethearts, and they've been together since 2011. It's been a long time. And he got mobilized off the street, and he was supposed to be in the rare, because so he has an eye condition that's that you were born with. So he practically doesn't see out of one eye, and he's supposed to like he's considered to be half ineligible, partially ineligible for service. Which means that he shouldn't be sent to like frontline positions, right? But he was. And well, at first he wasn't. At first he was kind of like in the rear. He was helping with electronic warfare and reconnaissance, and now he was doing his job so well that they're at the very front in the Donetsk region. Can't tell you where, but he is no longer in the rear. He's now like right there. Goes to show sometimes you don't want to be doing your job very well, right? Because that's a promotion you might not want. But yeah, so he's there, and they do a lot of like electronic warfare and reconnaissance stuff, but they're sort of in like an assault reconnaissance group. And I mean, he can tell you more and better probably about what they do, because I don't necessarily want to, I don't know how much I can or cannot say, but he was basically mobilized into this new brigade that was created, and that was created basically for them, sort of. And yeah, he does very well. You know, he's a good soldier in a way, because like he takes directions really well, and he follows orders very well as well. But he also graduated from a philosophy with a philosophy degree. So he's you know, he's his own person. He has a lot of very interesting things going on. There was a $25 donation from Annette, which brings us to 174. Thank you, Annette. Let me see if I missed anything on Venmo or Revolut. Nothing on Venmo so far. And nothing on Revolut so far. So we are at 174, and I might have just accidentally closed a notification that there was another donation on PayPal. Nope, that was just a dream. Maybe get him on with you. Well, that's what I was saying. I want to get him on with me, and he doesn't mind coming on to the live. We just need to find a good time, because I usually do lives at like 11 p.m. He usually goes to bed at 11 p.m. I usually I have a more an easier to navigate schedule, but I just need to see when he has time, because it really does depend on him. He's the one who is at the literal front, and whenever he tells me that he can come on, that's when I'll do it. I wish it was just as easy as calling him up and being like, hey, 11 p.m. Yeah, he goes to bed at around 11 p.m. 11 p.m. Kyiv time, because right now it's 12 a.m. 11 p.m. Kyiv time. He goes to bed at around 11 p.m. Kyiv time, and then he wakes up at like 3 or 4 or 5 or something like that. I don't remember. Yulia told me more. Yulia told me this, and she knows more. Does he have good body armor? Yeah, he has decent body armor. I mean, like, I'm going off of what he asked me for. So he asked me for these things. Let me go back to the list, and I will tell you what the things are, because if you're just joining, here are the things. It's a generator called Shepa, or Shepak, and it's 19,000 hryvnias, or $470. An EcoFlow Delta Max, which is $1,470. Hi, Norway. Lenovo Yoga 6 laptop, which is $889. Lenovo Legion tablet, which is $568. Complex Zhzita. So it's an electronic warfare thing, and there is no link to this here, because see, like, so I have names of things, then I have their prices in both hryvnias and dollars, because man comes prepared. And here are the links to all of these things, but the only one that doesn't have a link is this electronic warfare complex, because I think they have to buy it through the military, not not through just like internet. So yeah, and altogether it's $4,630. But I was thinking we can go off of like itemized. So 2 items that are the most high ticket are, one is $1,470 and one is $1,234. So I guess we go with the $1,470, which is an EcoFlow. And we are so far at $174 plus Grumpy's recent donation of $20, which brings us to $194. Well, ask him as we can add that in. Well, I mean, so I can ask. The thing is, I think that he does have decent body armor, because this is what he asked for, and I am like careful to not, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't mind adding more things that are actually needed on top of it. I just don't know. I'm always like, when amounts get bigger, I'm scared that we're just not going to raise it in time, because I'm not like a big channel, and usually like fundraisers that are more than $1,000 take us quite a while on this channel. And so unless he's like, he knows he can ask me. If he needed body armor, he'd be asking me. So far they asked for these things. I'm very curious what the heck this generator is, because I actually haven't opened these links. Because this thing. Okay. This is one of the things on the list. It's a generator. Very specific generator. Then I know what an EcoFlow is, obviously. Then there is a laptop, a tablet, and that. Oh, there are 5 items on the list. Okay, so generator, EcoFlow, Lenovo laptop, Lenovo tablet, and an EW complex. Hi, Rational Squirrel. And Heroem Slava. Looks like a nice unit. Yeah, if I knew enough about generators like that, I could tell you if it's a nice one or not, but I'm sure they wouldn't be asking for something that isn't good for them. That was such a stupid comment on my behalf. I just didn't know what to say because I know nothing about these things. So yes, does look like a nice unit. That would have been a better way to put it. The Russian branch of the Bank of China has ceased processing yuan payments from Russian banks on the US sanctions list, according to Kommersant. Effective June 24th, the bank will only handle transactions from credit institutions not affected by Washington's sanctions. This decision appears to be a response to the risk of secondary sanctions targeting banks that assist Russia in circumventing international sanctions. In the Russian market, the Bank of China subsidiary ranks second in terms of assets among all Chinese bank subsidiaries operating in the country. So, I mean, that's good. Like, the more we sort of put pressure on China, the more pressure China puts on Russia in terms of like not working with Russia in a lot of different industries. You know, closing the Russian branch of the Bank of China is already good. And that already puts a lot of pressure on Russia and a lot of financial pressure on Russia because there are not that many banks that they can use these days to begin with. Sorry, I was so thirsty. Hi, Roy. Good to see you as well. So yeah, anytime anything closes in Russia, anytime anything financially connected that refuses to work with Russia closes, it's good. Jason, how much is the EW? So it's an EW thing. It's $1,234. It's called, you know what? I'm gonna look it up in Ukrainian so I know so I can show you a picture of what it is, because I'm like, I keep saying an EW thing, but it's okay. One sec. Засоби та пеленгації. I can't find it. I want to get some rubles before the ruble ceases to exist. I wouldn't want that, but I can see if you collect, if you collect those types of things. What the? I can't find it, but I know it's an electronic warfare thing. Also, thank you, Mark, for a $15 donation. And it's called Complex Zhizitsa, but I don't know, because when I put it into Google in Ukrainian, it starts reading it as Russian, and it doesn't show me. So Zhizitsa is a bird. So what is it called? Rab, Zhizitsa Rab. I think Rab is okay. One sec. Yeah, it's a name of an EW complex. Хортиця M, Apella, Plastun, DF, Minerva, Oris. Drone Shield? I don't know. One second. You guys. Maybe he's not asleep. Let me ask. Let me ask him. Maybe he's not asleep. Last seen 24 minutes ago, promising. Що таке комплекс Зигзиця? Yes, the EW. Well, it's not. So it's funny. It's funny when you say EW costs 1,234 because it sounds like electronic warfare in general costs $1,200, but this particular like part of electronic warfare is $1,234. Let me see. Ooh, no. Okay, so it's a name of some sort of a Ukrainian machine that is part of electronic warfare. I am going to find out the second that he responds to me what it actually does. But, you know, all I have is literally this, and you can't buy it online. You have to buy it through the military, as far as I'm understanding. So here are, well, the price is a jammer. I don't know. So, because it's mirrored. Basically, here is just so you have an understanding of what I'm working with here. This is an Excel spreadsheet, and this Excel spreadsheet was sent to me by my classmate, you know, who is at the front, and and what they need is in this spreadsheet. And some things on that list are things that I understand and I know what they are. And there are even links to them. So for instance, you know, for the generator and for the power battery and for the laptop and for the tablet, I literally have links. But for this, there is no link because you can't buy it online. Plus 636. Sorry, I'm trying not to lose track. So we're at $215.36. Can we get to 300? I feel like I do auctions when I do this. Let me see. I want to say thank you, Catherine. And thank you, Catherine. Also, Mark. I don't think I counted in your donation. So plus 15, which brings us to $230.36. Have you tried Wikipedia? I did. But I think it's a Ukrainian complex of electronic warfare, and I don't think it's there. Also, maybe he misspelled it. I mean, Zigzitsa is a type of a bird. So it's named after a bird. And there is that. Okay, one sec. Hi, GT Pro. What was I looking at? I was gonna look at Venmo if I missed anything. Nope, nothing. And Revolut if I missed anything. Also, nope, nothing. Which is good and bad, I suppose. Hi, Mick. Hi, Andrew. I'm on delay between phone and TV. Gotcha. Why were you curious specifically about the EW? Does that seem like I don't know. I don't even know what I'm asking. But I don't know. TBA, to be announced. I literally wrote to him and said, what is Zhizhitsa complex? I mean, I know he was saying, hi, I know he was saying it's an EW thing, but again, I keep saying EW thing. Check the link. Which link? Oh, wait. He's online. No, he's not online anymore. Smart bird power bank. Power bank. I don't know. Maybe it's secret. Maybe. I mean, like, I don't know if they. I don't know. It's so far I can't find it anywhere online. Also, it said that electricity is supposed to come back on like a while ago, and it's still not on. You guys, I need to use the bathroom before we can continue this live, because oh my gosh, yeah, it said 23:33, so it was at 11:33 when the electricity was supposed to come back, and it's still not on. It's almost been an hour. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I wish I could leave you with Cinny, but Cinny is preoccupied. I will be in a second. I will just be a minute. Well, maybe a little longer than normal, because there is no light in my bathroom and I have to like literally figure out where my toilet is by just like, kind of navigating my way with my hands. I'm back. Oh, no. Oh my gosh, puzzle piece. Every time you do a live for like more than, I don't know, 60 minutes or something like that, TikTok has this like puzzles that you need to do on the screen to verify you're an actual human. I went to make a coffee. Where is Yulia? Yulia was in. What do you mean? What do you mean there is no internet connection? Wait. You guys, some of you might be on TikTok. Do you not see the live? Oh, maybe something. Oh, okay, cool. I was lost too. Well, I'm here. I'm here, but I should have probably also grabbed a glass of water. Okay, one more second. I'm gonna also grab a glass of water because I didn't. And it's hot and we still don't have electricity. Also, I am wearing like I'm not wearing pants. Okay, I'm wearing pants. All less 10. Okay. Where the heck is this thing? I got water. Is she in New York or in Ukraine? She's in Ukraine. She's in Kyiv. Why would I have no electricity in New York? Although I guess stranger things have happened. So also Paul donated $10, which brings us to $240.36. The pricey part of EW is amplifier. Depending on frequency, they can need 4 or 5 separate amps to cover the range as their frequency hopping right across the spectrum from 14 from 415 up to 2.4 gigahertz. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The thing with that is that I don't think this is like I think this is a part for an EW warfare complex, right? For EW, sorry, for for an electronic warfare complex. I don't think it's like a whole complex itself, which is why it's much more helpful when he explains it, because I don't know what it is. Also, why am I so uncomfortable? Sorry. Okay, this should be better. Hi, Kurt. Hello, good to see you. Okay, a Russian attack on Pokrovsk resulted in 4 deaths and 34 injuries. Among the injured were 2 children aged 12 and 13 who were in moderate to serious condition. The Russians fired 2 Iskander-M missiles at the city, destroying 1 private house and damaging 16 others, according to the regional military administration. Pokrovsk is do you remember Pervomaisk and Pokrovsk? So these are very close to each other. They are in the Avdiivka direction. They're actually like slightly to southeast from Avdiivka. It's a very, very hot direction. It used to be, Pokrovsk is like mostly ruined. You know, it's really bad over there. It's quite crazy actually that it made it on the news today, because that it got, hit, because it just keeps getting hit all the time. It's right at the front. I'm gonna write what it would be in English. Zitsa would be the name of the complex in English. I'm putting it on YouTube, so maybe you guys, if you want to look it up, you can look it up. And then, do I have a... Oh, let there be light. There is a lovely little troll. As an Indian Hindu, I support Russia and not Ukraine or Ukrainians. Why? Because, I want to show you something. Don't throw him out. Let this be an educational lesson for you. Please do stay as an Indian. So I want to show you an interview of a KGB agent who literally talked specifically about how he was trained to destabilize India when the USSR was pretending to be your friends. Let me get you this lovely bit. Oh, 1 second. Thank you, Joe. A $60 donation, which brings us to $300. And can we get to $400? Thank you, Joe. But we're at $300.36. So he's talking about ideological subversion, but I want him to talk. I want to watch the full interview where he talks about okay, political of India.
Zero accounting software helped put me on the right path. It's easy to find your numbers all in one place and get a clearer
1 second.
picture. So find the power in your numbers and open the right doors with Zero. Let it go!
What these ads are driving me crazy.
Mine. It is a lecture video given by Thomas Schumann, his real name, and I believe it needs to be
that matter. Is explained as a part of activity to destroy things like religion, government system, political, economical system of a country. And usually it's linked to espionage and such romantic things as blowing up bridges, sidetracking trains, cloak and dagger activity in Hollywood style. What I'm going to talk about now has absolutely nothing to do with the cliche of espionage or KGB activity of collecting information. So the greatest mistake or misconception, I think, is that whenever we are talking about KGB, for some strange reason, starting from Hollywood movie makers to professors of political science and quote-unquote experts on Soviet affairs, or Kremlinologists as they call themselves, they think that the most desirable thing for Andropov and the whole KGB is to steal blueprints of some supersonic jet, bring it back to Soviet Union and sell it to the Soviet military-industrial complex. This is only partly true. If we take the whole time, money, and manpower that the Soviet Union and KGB in particular spends outside of USSR border, we will discover, of course, there are no official statistics, unlike with CIA or FBI, that the espionage as such occupies only 10 to 15% of money, time, and manpower. 15% of the activity of KGB. The rest, 85%, is always subversion. And unlike a dictionary of English, Oxford Dictionary, subversion in Soviet terminology means always a destructive, aggressive activity aimed to destroy the country, nation, or geographical area of your enemy. So there's no romantics in there, absolutely. No blowing up bridges, no microfilms in Coca-Cola cans, nothing of that sort. No James Bond nonsense. It's most of this activity is overt, legitimate, and easily observable if you give yourself time and trouble to observe it. But according to the law and law enforcement systems of the Western civilization, it's not a crime. Exactly because of misconception, manipulation of terms. We think that subverter is a person who is going to blow up our beautiful bridges. No, subverter is a student who comes for exchange, a diplomat, an actor, an artist, a journalist like myself was 10 years ago. Now, subversion is an activity which is a two-way traffic. You cannot subvert an enemy which doesn't want to be subverted.
Give me 1 sec.
If you know history of Japan, for example, before 20th century, Japan was a closed society. The moment
I need to see what Sunny is doing. 1
comes to
second.
the shores of Japan, the Imperial Japanese Army politely tell them to get lost. And if American salesman comes to the shore of Japan, let's say 60 or 70 years from now back, and says, "Oh, I have a very beautiful vacuum cleaner for you," with the good financing, he says, "Please leave us. We don't need your vacuum cleaner." If they don't leave, they shoot them to preserve their culture, ideology, traditions, values intact. You were not able to subvert Japan. You cannot subvert Soviet Union because the borders are closed. The media is censored by the government. The population is controlled by the KGB and internal police. With all the beautiful glossy pictures of Time magazine and Magazine America, which is published by the American embassy in Moscow, you cannot subvert Soviet citizens because the magazine never reaches Soviet citizens. It's collected from the newsstands and thrown to garbage can. Subversion can be only successful when the initiator, the actor, the agent of subversion has a responsive target. It's a two-way traffic. United States is a receptive target of subversion. There is no response.
I mean, there is
similar
like
to
a
that
whole
one
scale.
from United States to the Soviet Union.
So this lecture is an hour and 30 minutes long. I'm going to post this lecture on my community tab as well, so you guys can listen to it. Another brilliant speech. by a former KGB agent. I already posted it on my community tab. Because I think that, like, here's the thing. I wouldn't listen to anyone Russian right now, but this person defected in the 70s in Canada to Canada and has been in Canada since. And these interviews were done in the 80s, and he's fascinating. I didn't find the actual bit that I wanted. Hi, Chad. I didn't find the actual bit that I wanted to play you, because that bit is about India and subversion of India and how the USSR used India and how they made India believe that they're friends, but they weren't. And I mean, I made it sound so funny. I'm like, made them believe that they were friends, but they weren't, and sort of about all of these crazy things. So I will find it for next time, that specific bit, because there was this Indian bot, and I wanted them to listen to the truth about their friendship with Russia. But alas, plenty of ways to subvert Russia, I'm sure. Not necessarily. So the thing is, information in Russia does only come out under government control. Cinny! Cinny! Hey! She peed. One sec. Cinny! What the fuck? Dude! Are you in your right mind? Are you in your right freaking mind? What is that? What is that? Cinny! What the fuck do you think this is? I understand that you've, had a rough couple of days and stuff, but, that does not excuse this behavior. Absolutely not, dude. You are not going to take your little situation as an excuse to be a shitty little dog. No. You're not allowed to do these things indoors, and you very well know that. What the fuck, dude? Do you understand how not okay this is? First of all, it's gross. It is really, really gross. I'm not a fan of what you did. And I have to clean it while there are people waiting. Do you understand how inconsiderate of you that was, dog? Not that you ever consider me, but that was just extremely inconsiderate. So not okay. You shitty little thing. You sit here and think about what you did. Okay. Thank you, Niels, for 5 Yulia memberships. You were about to talk about ways to subvert Russia. Well, I was going to say that in Russia, information only comes out through the government. And there is literally 0 other ways. Everything is government controlled. So you really can't, there is no freedom of information. So, for instance, mass media, right? People have access to the internet. So when I say that Russians can get a VPN and, go and listen and find information they need, they just don't want to, I mean it. But you can't really put out information into Russia to subvert the population, because their mass media is fully controlled by the government. So you can't okay, you guys, she threw up. One sec. Cinny. Hey. Sin. What is that about? Sin, I thought you were feeling better. Cindy. Cindy. What's up? What's going on, dog? What's going on? See, this is a very strange situation because she has been throwing up after drinking water. And this started happening after her surgery. And everything just went absolutely the wrong way after her surgery. Cindy. And the thing is, the only clinic that's open right now is the same clinic that did this to her. So I don't want to bring her there. The only other overnight clinic that I know of is very far. And I also don't know what their prices are like. I'm not talking to you, Siri. I don't know what to do right now, to be very, very honest with you. I really don't. Is there blood? No. It's just sort of like when she drinks water, she sometimes throws up foam. No, so I can't take her to the vet in Lviv because the vet in Lviv told me not to transport her until she's fully stable. So this is not, she's not throwing up food. She's throwing up, like, when she drinks water, she'll throw up like white foam. Anesthesia can cause nausea for a few days in a small percentage of patients. It's been a week. It's been a week. So it's not really like, you know, it's not super, it's not something that's just like, that's easy to just not pay attention to because it's been a week. And also she had complications after her intubation because the fucking doctors like yanked it out and scraped her trachea. I thought it was Thursday. Well, wait. I'm lost in space and time continuum. It was on Wednesday. So, it was on Wednesday. It was on Wednesday, and it was, yeah, it was on Wednesday, I think, not Thursday. And for some reason, I thought today's further than Monday. Maybe consult a vet in the US via online appointment. No, I mean, first of all, vets in the US are way worse than vets in Ukraine. It's not about vets in Ukraine not being qualified. It's about that particular clinic fucking up her de-intubation. I know nothing about dogs, but my cat often throws up fur balls on the floor. Well, Andy, that's not the same. Is she drinking much water when she throws up? She throws up, she drinks water and then she throws up like foam. but she used to never do that. You know what I'm saying? As in, like, that's new for her. The same as like reverse sneezing used to happen like once in a couple of months, and now after the surgery and after them um like, you know, doing that to her, she now reverse sneezes multiple times a day and multiple times a night. Sometimes I wake up because she's reverse sneezing, and like they used to be just like, you know, a couple of seconds long, and now they're like up to a minute. And I'm just really, really mad because this clinic like fucked up my dog. And it's not like, oh my gosh, they fucked up my dog. Like, no, but it's like she's not doing well, clearly. Is she chugging the water? No, she's drinking the way she usually does. Like, she's always pretty fast with the water, but like, again, she has never had any of these issues before this fucking surgery. Are you planning to take Cindy to a vet in Lviv? I can't until she's fully stable. This is what the vet in Lviv told me. They told me not to transport her until she's fully stable. The damage has probably caused reflux. I don't know. I mean, okay, so while she seems to be feeling okay, we're gonna continue with the news. If anything else happens, then I will step away. The head of the German Bundesrat, Manuela Schwetzig, visited Kyiv on a working visit and conducted negotiations with Ukraine's leadership, as reported by the government portal. This visit signifies the solidarity of all 16 federal states with Ukraine. Ukraine must prevail in this conflict, and Russia must be held accountable for its aggression, Schweizig stated. Prime Minister of Ukraine, Denis Shmyhal, met with the president of the Bundesrat and expressed gratitude to Germany for organizing the recovery conference, where over 100 agreements totaling 16 billion euros were signed. He also appreciated Germany's support for the reconstruction efforts in the Chernihiv region. We have a strong partnership, especially at the level of communities and regions. We have already established 210 communal partnerships and 7 interregional partnerships. We look forward to continuing this cooperation as it contributes to the recovery and development of Ukrainian communities and cities, Shmyhal remarked. The discussions also covered German assistance in the energy sector, decentralization of Ukraine's energy system, and investment in renewable energy development. I mean, more partnerships with Germany are always good, but Germany is also so deeply infested with Russians since, you know, Schröder and Angela Merkel times, that it's going to take a long, long, long time before Ukraine's cooperation with Germany becomes real, not fueled by the necessity of this war, right? Because again, there are still a lot of people in the government and in the society that are very pro-Russian. And I mean, of course, the general majority of Germans is anti-Russian and, you know, stands with Ukraine. But at the same time, sorry, there is some crazy stuff going on YouTube. But at the same time, like it's Russia has seeped way too deep into Germany for that to, you know, for that to be, for the partnership with Ukraine to be like actual and deep and real and complicated, you know. I'm crazy. Why am I crazy? Also, gentle reminder, this time around, we are fundraising for my classmate who is at the front line, who sent me a cute little PowerPoint presentation of what his unit needs. And the needs of his unit include he responded. He just responded. Responded to me saying that the Zhzyzya complex is an EW complex for like basically stealing video footage from Russia's FPVs in real time, so they can see what Russians see on their drones. That's what that electronic warfare complex is. So it's it's for it's to intercept video from FPV drones, from Russian FPV drones. And here are the things that his unit needs. The thing to intercept video from Russian FPV drones, a Lenovo tablet, a Lenovo laptop, an EcoFlow Delta Max, and a generator called Shepach. So all of these things together are $4,630. I think we will go itemized, and we will start with the highest ticket item, which is $1,470, and that's the EcoFlow, or a massive power bank. And so far we were able to raise $300.36. If you want to donate to the fundraiser, let me put the links on the screen for you because that way it'll be easier for everyone to track them. Also, thank you, Niels, again. I know I already said thank you, but thank you. Okay, Ozzy, help. I know Ozzy posted it earlier. Please help, please post the links, but there is PayPal, there is Venmo, there is Revolut, there is everything. So yeah, there is also this person on YouTube that I want to comment on, because you guys, also because I started early today, I can totally do a longer live than normal. We can go like over 2 hours if you guys are up for it. We can like talk about everything. I'm not going to end the live early because it's only 1 a.m. Hi, Corey. Here are the links. They're now available on your screen. And if you're on TikTok, they're in my link in bio. Okay, so there is this crazy person on YouTube, and they say, there it is. 1 second. Here it is. As an Indian Hindu, I support Russia and not Ukraine or Ukrainians. So a conversation then ensues between lots of people in YouTube comments and this person. They're quiet for a while. Then they come back with this. Ukraine betrayed India in 1998. We Indian will not forget the betrayal by Ukraine towards India. As a Hindu Brahmin Indian and all my friends, when we vowed to ourselves Ukraine is our enemy. What did Ukraine do to you in 1998? Because Ukraine has never done anything to India. This one, it gets better. India did not let the Ukraine Peace Summit pass in Switzerland, and only India can stop the war. But India will not stop. How can India stop the war, buddy? Only Russia can stop the war by getting the F out of Ukraine. Russia helped India during 1965 war and 1971 war, helping India. Okay, you know what Russia does to India today? Let's talk about it. Okay? So what Russia does to India today is Russia puts advertisements into your magazines and into your newspapers and on your, TV and everywhere to come work in Russia and to come enlist into the Russian military, where you're going to be making lots of money and doing paperwork in military commissariats. You get to Russia, in 2 weeks, you're at the front line dying in Ukraine. Your literal government has a huge beef with Russia right now, literally saying that Russia has to return all of these Indian citizens that they've coerced into coming to Russia under false pretenses of work with high salaries, while they actually just sent them into the meat grinder. Into the meat grinder. One second. While where was I at? Sorry. Where was I at? You guys. India asking, yeah. So India is no longer cooperating with Russia because India is no longer cooperating with Russia because Russia has in wow, because Russia has coerced these Indian citizens to sign up for these high salary jobs in the Russian army, in the rare, doing paperwork in Russia. And in reality, they lied to them and brought these Indian citizens to go to the front in Ukraine and to die there. So India right now has huge beef with Russian government, where India literally is telling Russia that they need to return all of these coerced citizens back to India because India is not cool with this. Like, India doesn't want its citizens to go fight in the war. India doesn't want its citizens to go die in the Russian military. Like, India is not cool with this by any means. So it's not like, there is like this cute little partnership going on there. Like, no. India has had quite enough of Russia. Obviously, like, their economies are quite tied up, but also, here is where being partnered with Russia is not fun right now, right? First of all, the West wants to get closer to India and wants to build up a relationship with them. So India now has a choice because the West wants to get closer to them. So that's good for them. That means they're no longer so dependent on Russia. That's one. Two, India doesn't want to get sanctioned by any means, so they don't necessarily want to cooperate with Russia as much. Russia is fucking up by doing these things to Indian citizens where India doesn't trust them. And also, like, India doesn't need Russia that badly. Right now, Russia needs all of these countries, not the other way around. Like, sure, India likes cheap gas and oil. Do they want to be sanctioned because of that and lose all the connection and all the connection with the West and the ability to cooperate? No. So, to be fair, no one other than like North Korea and Iran. Hey guys, can you block that? No one other than North Korea and Iran are going to be comfortable having deep relations with Russia. And even if they do still have some sort of economic relations, they're going to be loosening them, not tightening them. Because again, it all comes down to sanctions and it all comes down to not wanting the association. not wanting the association. Okay, one sec. Oh, on Sunday, news from Russia reported a series of terrorist attacks in Dagestan. Unknown assailants targeted an Orthodox church, a synagogue, and police officers in Derbent, and another attack occurred in Makhachkala, the capital of Dagestan. The attackers were found to be close relatives of Magomed Amarov, head of the Sergakalinsky district. He was arrested after it was discovered that the 3 attackers killed were his sons and nephew. The Ministry of Internal Affairs reported that 16 people were hospitalized in Makhachkala, including 13 police officers. So Makhachkala, Dagestan, is the region in Russia that's one of the poorest regions. It also has had the highest mortality rates for the invasion of Ukraine, because of course, the Russian government was mobilizing the most people from the regions where that are underprivileged, because that's ethnic cleansing right there. And Dagestan is a Muslim region of Russia. It's as you might know, Russia is very diverse. However, diversity is not welcome, because if you're not a white Russian, if you're not Russian in the imperial sense of things, you are not necessarily respected or welcome, and people will tell you, go home, go back home, okay, even though they're literally considered Russian. So those are... that is Dagestan. Dagestan is a Muslim region of Russia where they actually have a lot of oil, and Moscow and St. Petersburg just, appropriate their resources. Right next to Chechnya. Yeah, very close to Chechnya, but it's a tiny little region. After 2024, Denmark will no longer be able to train Ukrainian pilots to fly the F-16 at its airfield, stated Danish Defense Minister Troels Lund Poulsen, as quoted by Finance DK. Poulsen explained that Denmark is transitioning to F-35 fighter jets, which will use Skrydstrup Air Base, currently used for training Ukrainian pilots. By the end of the training program, around 20 Ukrainian pilots will have completed their F-16 training. Hi, Christina. That's actually cool, but it's sad that Denmark is not going to be able to. Train any more Ukrainian pilots after 2024 because. Were they attacked? Yes. So this is actually we're going to get back to F-16s in a second. This is a great question by Ed. Wasn't that the same oblast where they attacked an airfield searching for Israelis? Yes, it was. It was the same oblast where they attacked the airfield or the airport where they were saying that there were Israelis on board, because it's Russia was fueling a lot of ethnic hatred in that region on purpose, because again, this was Dagestan is a Muslim region, so of course you can imagine that it hit very close to home when things were not when things, but Gaza, the situation in Gaza hit very close to home. As you know, the Muslim world in general was very united on this issue. And so Russia specifically used propaganda in order to fuel tensions in the region based on ethnicity or religious ethnicity and stuff like that. So there is that. But can its training equipment go to an area next to Ukraine? So after 2024, Denmark will no longer be able to train Ukrainian pilots to fly the F-16s at its airfields, stated Danish Defense Minister Troels Lund Poulsen, as quoted by Finance DK. Poulsen explained that Denmark is transitioning to F-35 fighter jets, which will use the Skodstrup Air Base currently used for training Ukrainian pilots. By the end of the training program, around 20 Ukrainians will have completed their F-16 training. That's kind of awesome. It's really, I mean, I'm very happy that Denmark is transitioning to F-35s, and they will need the air base themselves to train their own pilots. But it's very sad that, you know, they will no longer be able to train Ukrainian pilots. I think you know, they've trained a very large amount, and they've been very you know, they've been very helpful and generous and kind to us. Again, as a gentle reminder, if you would like to donate to our fundraiser for my classmate who is at the very front line and needs quite a few things, including an electronic warfare complex that intercepts footage from Russian FPV drones, an EcoFlow, a generator, a Lenovo laptop, and a tablet. The cost of all of these things together is $4,630, but we're going to go itemized, and the highest ticket value item is $1,470 for an EcoFlow, which is a huge power bank that is able to charge many devices at the same time, power up, you know, like it can power up a fridge, you know. It's a pretty good, it can power up a coffee machine, it can power up your TV. So it's a pretty decent piece of technology, I would say. So that one is $1,470, and we are at $300.36. So if we could get to like $400 before the end of this stream, that would be quite lovely. Okay, where was I? EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell confirmed that the EU will allocate $1.4 billion from revenues from Russian assets for weapons for Ukraine. Ministers today agreed on the legislative framework for the use of profits from frozen Russian assets to fill the European peace facility, he said. He stated that these funds will be used for the benefit of Ukraine in the most expeditious manner. Woohoo! The French armed forces will not take part in military actions on the territory of Ukraine in the near future. This was stated by President Macron in response to a question from the host of the Generation Do It Yourself podcast. I don't think that the war will come to our territory. I want to reassure you. We will also not take part in military actions on Ukrainian territory tomorrow. I want to assure you of that, he said. He acknowledged the concerns of those who fear that the conflict will spread to France. I mean, of course, like, you know, before anything ever comes to the territory of European countries, NATO and Europe is obviously going to step in a way where they're going to interfere. But by that point, Ukraine will have already collapsed. So they're not going to come in until and unless Ukraine literally falls. And I mean, that's a great thing to acknowledge right there. You know, it's a great prospect when you understand that no one's going to come to your rescue until this is literally going to be going straight at them, which is just horrifying. In terms of news, that's kind of, in terms of news, one sec. Sin? Are you okay, bud? Don't reverse sneeze out of nowhere. You good? Okay. That's reverse sneezing. Okay, you guys, don't scream hospital now. I know, you know, like, I know that everyone has the best of intentions, and I know that everyone worries about Cindy. But when you guys scream things like hospital now or these types of things, like, please don't, because you just get me, yes, stressed and worried. This is reverse sneezing. It is normal, unfortunately, for most bulldogs because they have a short snout and they can't breathe. Cindy didn't have that until her stupid freaking surgery because oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the word. Like nicked her trachea, scraped her trachea. So it was negligence and they didn't do good enough job. And now Cindy has these problems and she reverse sneezes and stuff like that. And that makes me super unhappy because she used to never do that. And also, it's really sad to watch because it's very uncomfortable and it's like a thing that bulldogs do. It is kind of them grasping for air. And she never had that. Well, she would have that like once a year or something like that, but she didn't have that often. And now this happens like multiple times a day. And I really hope that it passes and things heal and she gets better because it's just not okay. So it makes me really mad because these people did very screwed up things to my dog and now she's not feeling good. So there is that. So in terms of news, that's kind of all I have. In terms of maybe she also has a viral infection that affects the lungs and it needs to heal. Well, I mean, she is on antibiotics. She is on antibiotics, so we are kind of handling that. She is doing better than she was, I suppose. Yeah, I do have some time that you can ask questions. And we can just chat about things that you guys might want to find out. Also, again, if anyone wants to contribute to the fundraiser for my classmate, please do. So sorry you're going through this with your dog. It is stressful under normal circumstance and more so under your conditions. Hopefully she's better tomorrow. Yeah, I hope so too, honestly. Yeah, I hope so too. I really hope she's better. It really stresses me out that she isn't. Buggered in English? Buggered? What is buggered? Still healing. Yeah, but it's like, I'm not too happy with what's happening. It's not good. Drives me crazy. Makes me very sad. She's probably healing up, but it will be irritated for a while. Yeah, but I don't know. See, I'm worried that this is not just going to be irritated for a while. I'm worried that it's going to be. I'm worried that it's gonna. This is how it's gonna be. Okay, you guys. I'm gonna go use the bathroom one more time, and then I'm gonna come back and we are going to do some questions and wrap up. Okay, give me 1 sec. Okay. That's why I heard it works. Uncle uses garlic to help the dogs if they just give. Garlic is not good for as far as I know, garlic can be deadly for dogs. What's wrong with her dog? I wish I knew. She's not feeling well after her sterilization surgery. Yes, especially if you're Russian, they seem obsessed with sitting on things. What's the verdict on the dog? Waiting till morning? Yeah, I think we're gonna wait till morning because I mean she's okay right now. She's not really like, I don't think that this is something like urgently bad. I do think that this is caused by, by everything that had happened to her in the meanwhile. But I do want to monitor her. These types of things really give me a headache and like really drive me crazy. I mean, like, I get very worried because this is just not what happens to my dog normally. So yeah, so yeah, can you please tell me more about what happened in Ivano-Frankivsk? I came across it on TikTok. What do you mean? What do you mean? Did they give any estrogen? No, why would they have to give her estrogen? Maybe some sleep would be best for her for now. Well, she is sleeping right now, yeah. Yeah, this just doesn't this just is quite unsettling, very unsettling. I really don't like it. It drives me quite crazy. And it makes me feel very upset. I heard there were airstrikes last week. Yeah, I mean, I think there was an airstrike that fell. I think there was an airstrike that fell onto a neighborhood and damaged a kindergarten or a school. I mean, these things happen quite often. It's not really anything out of the ordinary. They happen much less in the west of Ukraine than they do in the east because the east is right at the front line. But things like that sometimes do happen in Ivano-Frankivsk and in Lviv because there is critical electrical infrastructure and oil and gas storage facilities. So Russians are trying to blow up those, like particularly the one in Stry, that's a gas storage facility. Archon. I mean, hey, you can donate whenever you can or whenever you want. I have to go to work now. Hugs. Aw. Well, have a good day at work. How long till Russia blames Ukraine for the attacks in Dagestan? It'll be any moment now. Yeah, I mean, though I don't think they're gonna find like anything to relate. Anything to. I don't think they'll find anything to tie it together. They'll just use it to fuel internal racism. Because of course everything always happens in Dagestan, right? Hello, Yulia. Just a general daily life question in terms of Ukraine. What's the normal conversation like for Ukrainians? Do Ukrainians avoid discussing the war in general? No, not really. I mean, I'm sure some Ukrainians do. Every society sort of has like, the particular castes of the population that pretend like there is no war, don't do anything for it, and live and act as if like everything is fine and they couldn't give a slightest, but other than that, no, Ukrainians, I think we constantly talk about the war because how else? We live in it every day, right? So at least in my surroundings, we constantly do, because in my surroundings, we try to, do things that are, socially beneficial. We try to do things that benefit the military. We try to fundraise. We try to raise awareness. So my circle of people that I communicate with are military people and journalists. So I think that we mostly talk about the war. I mean, every single person I've met so far, at some point, we talk about war and politics and all this stuff, right? So yeah. So that's where we are at. Speaking of war and speaking of war and politics, you know that one time. You know that one time. You remember when the other day I had that little adventure with THC that I wasn't expecting. So my neighbor at some point started talking politics. I just remembered, and he loves Poroshenko, our former president, as it turns out. And I was like, oh my God, not right now, because I'm not in the slightest condition to be able to deal with this shit right now. There is no way I can have this conversation right now. And I just remember trying to just channel all of my sound mind to just ignore it, because I just was not in the condition to do that. Funnily enough, most people that I meet that are pro Poroshenko are either from Lviv or from Zaporizhia. It's always one or the other, which is so weird. It's two super opposite cities. I get the same feeling with Trump lovers. Yeah, we call them Poroch bots. I've actually met, it's like interesting because the people that do like Poroshenko are legitimately, the people that do like Poroshenko are legitimately like, it's like a cult. It's almost like a cult. They don't just like prefer him, they like adore him. Oh my gosh. What sources in English do you know that cover the southern region more? Do you mean like militarily? Or do you just mean, hi Alti, thank you. Or do you mean like, do you mean militarily? Or do you mean, like in terms of just news in general? Which one is the Roshan guy? Poroshenko. Poroshenko. The guy that was before Zelensky. I don't necessarily know. Grumpy, do you know a news source that posts a lot about the southern region? So like southern regions like Odessa and Kherson? I don't really have like, I don't follow specific military sources. I don't follow specific sources that are like regionally divided. The only source that I follow that's like regionally based is Lviv. Because I mean, like my mom, my dad, and like everyone was like, you need to download this channel because it's like news about Lviv, But yeah, does he still make the chocolates? Yeah, oh yeah, he's thriving. There are Odessa Telegram channels, Grumpy says. Oh wow, Ukrainian. Cool. Hi, Dylan. Yulia, I was just reading Jack London's White Fang. Reminds me of your puppy's stomach pains. Aw. Oh. There are Odessa Telegram channels. I don't follow any. Forgive me if this question is annoying, Yulia, but for Poroshenko, what was the main aspect you disliked about him? Is he quite disliked? Yeah, I would say he's quite disliked. The thing is, like, the people that like him, think that it's like Zelensky's propaganda and we're all brainwashed into disliking him while he was this like fantastic guy. So he did do a couple of good things. Namely, he opened the borders with Europe in a way where like we no longer need to have visas. If we have biometric passports, we can go to the European Union for 90 days visa free. So a lot of people love him for that. And for some reason, people think that he was the person who rebuilt the military, but he wasn't. Our military was not rebuilt under him, and it was not doing well. Also, he was like, there are serious allegations that he was trading coal and other substances from Donbass while it was occupied through Russia and making money off of it. He never closed his factories in Belarus and Russia. He was like stealing a lot of money. The thing is, like, on paper, he was very pro-Ukrainian, but in reality, he had a lot of business with Russia, like a lot of trade and a lot of business with Russia, and was like not by any means putting us any further from them. Poroshenko is like a lying piece of shit. He was also like, when he saw that he was losing the campaign against Zelensky. And like, here's the thing. I'm not a fan of Zelensky. I think that he's a good wartime president. I did not vote for him. I don't necessarily like, there are things that I really dislike about him. I'm not like a Zelensky fan, right? But I also absolutely freaking despise Poroshenko. Like, I cannot stand him. And I think that he's such a pathetic little fuck. I'm sorry. When he realized that Zelensky was winning because his outreach and campaign were better, he started spreading rumors about Zelensky and cocaine to make him lose. It's like he knew that he couldn't win. So he started playing dirty and accusing Zelensky of like, that's he made up the story. It wasn't Russians who made it up. It was Poroshenko. Like, so yeah, that was pathetic to watch. Yeah, exactly. It was very pathetic to watch. And like, Zelensky challenged him to a debate like most presidential candidates do, and for like a long time he like didn't want to do it, and then was like, oh, I'll only do it if you like get drug tested or something. No, he like didn't want to do it, and then Zelensky was like, why don't we do a debate and I'll also get drug tested while we're at it, you know? Yeah, it was like the dumbest thing. It was, I don't know, he's just, I personally consider him to be a pathetic little fuck, and that's about all I have to say. Alrighty, guys. Is there a good channel in the US to watch Ukrainian TV, like an MHZ channel? I have no idea. I've never watched Ukrainian TV in the US. I don't really watch TV like that. We have Megogo, which is similar to Netflix, but it's like movies from different countries, not just Ukraine. She was really cool in the 2000s. No, she wasn't. May I ask you, is there any good Ukrainian channel on YouTube for Ukrainian history? Martin, can you remind me on the next live, which is likely tomorrow, to tell you, because yes, I do, but not off the top of my head. I have a couple. Okay. All right, guys. Love you. See you soon.